Stop with it, YouTube. How you doing? This is your boy Luck back again, once again, with another deck profile from our boy Kobe Short.
Yep.
What's good, Kobe?
Sorry, I'm a little under the weather, kinda. I don't know. Might be sick, might not be. But yeah, I played the Kashtira pile at the 250th YCS. I finished 37th after Swiss. Finished X2. Both my losses are kind of out of my control, but
Understandable.
my loss in top cut was also out of my control. My opponent played really well though.
But you did it. You made it. You made it. You got top 64. Congrats, man. What's up?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and do another kind of in-depth profile. I did a profile on Slim and Johnny's channels, but this one's gonna be a little bit more in-depth. I think that's kind of been like the running theme for my profiles on Luck&Chuck. It's just a little bit more in-depth profile so that people can actually learn more of what I think about in the game. Yeah, we just hop into it.
Right, fair enough. Appreciate it.
Shout out to Dan Green, the GOAT. He's a cool token, dude.
Yo, look at that.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Yeah.
That's sick.
It was a really cool birthday gift. So for starters, I played 41. I don't think you have to necessarily play 40 cards in this deck, but you definitely can't go over like 42, 43, because that's when like percentages start to actually matter. When it's a matter of like 2%, 3% on a card, it's not necessarily impactful enough for you to strictly stick to the 40 strategy and make your side deck worse. I wanted to actually have options post side, like more options than I did at 40, and like 41 just made my siding patterns a lot better. I'm gonna say that a lot. Like the way I built this deck was kind of like from the side deck out, or from the non-engine out also. Like your engine's kind of self-explanatory, like, so, right, this doesn't change for me. You could play one of these, but, like, I don't know, my problem with this deck is, like, sometimes you just don't draw monsters. I won almost every game that I summoned a dude, and, like, these cards are so high impact. Like, the value that these two cards get, it doesn't compare to anything else currently in the game. And these cards all kind of like are engine requirements, or like they help you get there. Like this guy's definitely cuttable if you're not going to go for like the lock plays, but I don't know, this card's really valuable to me. Planet being a 1-card OTK, it is super impactful. Like our Planet plus any spell, I don't think it's just Planet, but still, like, that being game by itself is, like, super important, because this deck you want to end games as fast as you can, but you're also okay going in and growing games. That's, like, the best part about this deck. That's kind of why it's the best deck, in my opinion. Played 4 of the best cards in your deck. Most of your cool combos involve this card, so you just want to play as many of it as you can. I would play Set Rotation and the Scareclaw spell, but I don't know, I don't like the combo that people were doing in this event was either like double a Rise Heart or Diablosis and Rise Heart, so like they're ripping cards from your deck, and if they hit like the Scareclaw field spell and you have Set Rotation in your hand, you kind of like, you just have a dead card in your hand for no reason. I wanted to be able to play as often as I could, as often as possible with this. Engine requirements. You don't have to play this card, but I think this card gives you such a good grind game. It's one of the cards that like helps you play when people put a monster on your board, like you can play eventually, which is kind of like all you really need. A lot of your brick hands involve these cards, sadly, but like you have to play them because they're so high impact. This is just E-Telly from your deck. And this card, if this card ever stays on the board for more than one turn, you win the game. Dom and them didn't play this card, or they sided it, but I think like I wanted this in my main deck because the field was so broad at the YCS. If I knew I would play against 12 Kashtira decks in Swiss, this card wouldn't be in my deck, but that's just not a real thing, right? And then I played 5 pots. These cards overperformed the whole weekend. Like, this card's just pot of greed. This card should have been in the deck from the get-go, like Vegas. These cards, crazy. This card's so broken in this deck. Like, it's so crazy getting utility cards under your Rise Heart. So it's 27 engine cards, if you count pots, and then 14 non-engine. I don't think this deck can play more than 14 without like sacrificing consistency. So it was these. Not gonna lie, this was probably the best card in my deck over the weekend. Like, this card was so high impact when in theory it shouldn't. This card's just a -1 every time you play it, but this card was so crazy. This card was good too, but Book of Moon definitely overperformed. Right, so there's one of these in my deck, and then there's 2 in the side. To explain that, I played this ratio. This card was really good in the tournament because in the mirror, people would go for, like, when they do the Shangri-La line where you have Shangri-La on board with a Rise Heart, like with Rise Heart, and you imperm the Rise Heart, a lot of times they just end on a Fenrir, and then like all you have to do is deal with that, and then you clear their cards. Now they're on nothing. So this card was really good in the mirror. This card sucks in the mirror, so you don't want to play 3 of it, and you don't need to Ash Brain Infusion game 1 because most people aren't on the Gimmick Puppet game 1. Post side, you do need to Ash Brain Infusion, so there is a 3rd Ash in the side deck. But this card's so low impact in the mirror, I wanted another card that like is good 1st and 2nd in the mirror. This card, like, it trades with the same things going 1st as Ash Blossom. Like, this can trade with a planet, which is 9 times out of 10 what this is doing. But also this banishes Birth. And then going 2nd, this can hit a non-engine card. Like, even if you're blind hitting a Book of Moon, right, this card's just doing something that this card wouldn't do. And I'm not playing Baron, so like having the tuner never really came up for me. But yeah, I liked this ratio a lot. I think it kind of made a lot of sense to do this. And then post side, like for siding patterns, like this card came out a lot. For like against Branded, this would become this, or like some other thing, but this card kind of helped siding a lot easier. And yeah, these were all very good. And then 2 kaijus. I was on 1 and this deck was at 40, but then I was finding like when I would side, I would be taking out good cards for like cards that I thought were slightly better in the matchup, but like the cards were still good, right? So like if I just played this, I'm not taking out the good cards, and now I just have a bunch. I have so many options versus the deck that I'm playing against that like every card in my deck just becomes better in a sense. Like every card I could draw, as long as I'm playing the game, like it's fine. And these going 2nd were just crazy. Like this over into Rise Heart, or over a Shangri-La to clear the lock. Like, this card's really good. So yeah, it was 41 in the main. This was kind of built for the event, so I will be changing some of these ratios for sure, but I felt this was perfect for the event. I liked this deck a lot while I was playing. Extra deck, 3 Rise Heart. This is best card in your deck. I know I've said that a lot. This deck has a lot of very high impact cards. This is one of the most meta warping cards I've ever seen in my life. This card is ridiculous. This card is the gatekeeper of the format. Like, every single deck that I want to play in this format looks at this card and says they can't play. So, like, just play this card, right? Shang, I summon this card a lot. Like, almost more than this one, but obviously, like, you do make this a lot. Against decks that are not the mirror, this card is crazy. Like, passively locking their zones while they play, and like making the board state harder for them progressively is so important in this deck, because this deck wants to restrict your opponent from playing it. Like, it's not making an FTK board a lot of the time, but it's making something that gets progressively harder to play against, which is like really cool in Yu-Gi-Oh, because the only other deck that's done that recently is Tier Elements, where their board is like layered, and this deck's board is also pretty layered. When you make this, it helps you kind of play through like Book of Moon and stuff, because like you're making this, that means you have multiple dudes on the board, and like now Book of Moon isn't just trading with your Rise Heart, it's trading with like a Finner or a Unicorn, right? But both of those cards are so high impact against Sprite. This card is really good. Big guy, I kind of wish I played one of these and played the Fossil Knight. Dom kind of sold me on the theory to play the Fossil Knight guy, and it was like after submitted decks. But if I just play it, like, you're never gonna make this into a board and actually like have it matter, unless like you were already winning the game. You could have did a different play. But yeah, this card was pretty cool. I summoned it like once or twice over the weekend. 2 Zeus, summoned this card a lot. A lot of people were making like the quote-unquote bad board, where like it's like a lock 3 with Shanger Era, but they're locking your back rows for some reason. If you're locking 3, you should be locking monsters. And then like they would make the Arise Heart with 1 material or something, or sometimes they wouldn't make a Rise Heart, and then they would trigger Shanger Era in the standby phase. Like, a lot of people were doing a lot of different things with this deck. So I summoned Zeus quite often. This card is pretty good. This guy was sick. I summoned him a lot. A lot of times, like if I wasn't doing double Arise Heart, and I could show you all the combo for this at the end of the video, I was ending on like this. And like post side, I have Econ in the mirror, so like this with an Econ is really good. Yeah, this card was sick. This was probably the 3rd most summoned card in my extra deck, aside from these two. This guy got summoned a lot. This card cleared so many cards this weekend. Like, in my top 64 match, he had Birth and Imperm Big Bang set, and I couldn't like make Shanger Era or anything, so I made this. Targeted Birth, he let it go, and then he sniped. This card also sniped the Imperm, and then I was able to clear his board. I still lost that game because like he just drew a lot better than me, but this card was so sick. Yeah, I've said that a lot, but I didn't summon this card once. Still have to play it for skill drain, and you can theoretically make it under Gozen to out a Gozen match, but yeah, it doesn't come up. This gets banished off Prosperity a lot, and then 3 Prosperity targets. This card really overperformed, especially in the mirror. Like, putting this under your Rise Heart means that they have to like clear. They have to make an Arise Heart to clear your Arise Heart, or if they like steal your Arise Heart and then make a Zeus over it, detaching this like gives you resources over the course of the game. This popping non-engine cards is really important. Also, the fact that you can do this like almost every turn of the game, so it'll get banished and then Arise Heart, reattach it. This card's really good. This is for Gamma. The card saw an uptick in popularity this weekend, so you attach this first. Or if you know they're not playing Gamma, you just attach both of these and you get a free draw. This could have also been the Skull Knight. The draw doesn't really matter that much, but it won me a couple games, the draw for this, especially in the mirror. Side deck, the 3rd Ash. This is just for Braided, or like any of the FTK decks like Dark World or Drytron. You just want as many hand traps in your deck as possible against those. Shifter, this card is crazy. This is what it feels like to be on the dark side. I've been complaining about this card for like months now, and now I know what it's like to play this card. It feels powerful. I still want this card banned though. This card's so stupid.
Yeah, quite ridiculous, no lie there.
Yeah, I think I drew this card once a match when I started it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty lucky with this card specifically, but yeah, this card's so stupid. Then this is for Sprite. So I wanted 4 cards going second against them, and this card's really, really high impact against Sprite. But I also wanted to decide 3 cards going first against them. So this card kind of doubled up as the 3rd Dark Ruler No More, also as like a second copy of a pointer going first. I'm never gonna play this card again, but it was in my deck because I had 1 slot for like a high impact go first card, and I thought this might be the best one. It probably isn't. It probably should just be D-Barrier or something. I don't know. Or I just reworked the side entirely, but yeah, this card really underperformed. I don't know why, but I feel like every time I draw this card, I don't get to summon a monster that game. But yeah, it was this going second against Sprite because all these cards are high impact, and then this going first. So that was kind of the logic. And then 3 more backer removal cards. I didn't want to play Lightning Storm because I just don't think the card's very good. I don't like a card that you can, like, you kind of just can't draw into it over the course of the game. You have to open it, and against backer decks, like, a lot of times you're going to go into a long game, like multiple turns, and I think like Lightning Storm gets worse every turn you play the game. Whereas these cards just don't. Every time you see these cards, like, they're good. Also, this card's really good in the mirror because people stat a bunch of cards, so clearing non-engine cards is really impactful. And then the last 3 cards were for the mirror. Decon, this card was sick. Like changing offender to defense in the battle phase, or like when you go first, you do that, or going second, like dodging a Rise Heart, taking a monster. Card was crazy. Also, this is one of the, like, people in the mirror match kind of tell you to go first sometimes they don't, so you don't have like a solidified game plan. You don't know exactly what they're gonna do, so you want to play cards that are both good going first and second. This is the only one that's not, but this one's so high impact when you play it that it's worth doing. This card, it's good going first, good going second in the mirror specifically. So like post side, if they're given the option, I normally take this card out or like put it down to 1. That way, like, my deck's just better no matter what they choose. But yeah, these were cool. And I'll show you the combo real quick. I'll show the combo and then I'll do shoutouts. So the Dom put out a video on his channel. I'll go like watch that. His channel is getting a lot of traction lately. So it's a 2-card combo to end on double a Rise Heart. So it's any of these cards, any one of them, plus this card. So I'll just show it with this. So you do, okay, so this field spell. Let's add this, and then you special summon this card. Effect. You go add your birth, activate birth, normal summon, effects, add your Rise Heart, and then special the Rise Heart to play around Gamma. Then you exceed summon into your Shanger Era. Then you do this for cost, banishing your Big Bang. It's important to get this card in circulation because this card gets better every turn of the game. They're going to banish 3 cards face down. You're going to do Shanger Era, Chain Link 1, blocking whatever zone, it doesn't matter. Big Bang 2, detach your Unicorn and special it. Now on a new chain, you plan it, target your Shanger Era, it dies. This you detach to keep him alive, and then now you go Birth Effect, it's a special, and you make a Rise Art here, and then over the Shanger era you make a second one. So this is double a Rise Art, and you still have 3 cards in your hand. In the first card that gets played, you get to attach 2 banished cards, so this is gonna go like here or here, and then like if they kaiju this, you still get a material, then they have to commit another card, you still have 3 cards. It could be non-engine. If it's an engine card, you get in on more. Like this combo is really good. I did this a lot over the weekend. I know a lot of other people did as well.
That's actually crazy. So you said you did that a lot over the weekend.
Yeah.
And you also said it plays around Gamma. How many times did you get Gamma?
2 or 3 times in Swiss. Didn't happen in Top Cut, but yeah, I got Gamma a fair bit for how like played the card was. I don't think that card's very good in this deck. Just because of how siding works. I think like it's very hard to side deck correctly with Gamma in your deck. I think you have to cut corners a lot of the time. I just don't want to do that, especially in a format where it's so wide. Where yes, this is the best deck, and honestly I don't think it's very close, but like people are still going to play other decks, and this deck could lose to anything because everything is trying to beat this deck. So like you do have to respect all those decks. It's not like tier where the deck just bullies everything, right? But yeah, I'll do shout outs. Shout out to, of course, Luck&Chuck. They lent me a bunch of cards for the weekend. Couldn't do it without them. Shout out to the best sponsor on the planet, Anthony, Hector, Team Pandemonium Gaming. They clutched it up this weekend. Shout out to Heisem for getting top 8. Shout out to everyone back in Lafayette that was like messaging me the whole weekend. Shout out to everyone that helped talk about the deck with me, like Will Candia. Shout out to Paulie for winning. Much deserved win. And yeah, if I forgot anyone, I'm so sorry, but I'm like a little tired.
It's all good, man. It's understandable.
I'm jet lagged and I feel like kind of sick. So
yeah, you like just got off the plane and did this tape.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to get this up. No, Luck&Chuck wanted the profile, so.
That's all good. We greatly appreciate it, and thank you again for the deck profile, man.
Anytime.
Congrats on topping, man. You deserved it.
Appreciate it.